This is Angelo Espino with Heretic.
This is John Cochran, formerly of Vermin.
And you're jamming out to Poppitt's Corner.
In the corner.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Poppitt's Corner. We are broadcasting live out of this year's San Diego Metal Swap Meet. And it's all of the Poppitt's Corner crew today. I want to thank, obviously, Mr. Shannon Fry for joining us today. Shannon, how you doing, man? Thanks again for coming down.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm doing good. It was a good drive. Nice to be here with you both again.
Been a minute, so and obviously Dad Ross is here and myself, so we're just kind of hanging out. We're going to grab some guests relatively soon, but before we get started with that, I wanted to kind of, acclimate everybody on what's going on and just shoot the shit because it's been a little bit, So, Shannon, let's start with you. What are you actually? Give me a reason why you're actually here at the San Diego Metal Swap Meet this time around compared to other years here.
3 reasons. First one, to see you guys.
Yes.
Right? The other one, to see Stygian Crown, because my best friend's a drummer since high school. And the other thing is the swap meet, to get away from Vegas for a day at least, give myself a mental relaxation from all my stress.
And no more stabbings probably too, right?
A lot less.
And of course, okay, so so are you actually you're here for the full day? I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, we're staying until it closes.
Is this your first time at this specific event? Okay, so
no, this is like my 4th time out of SD's Metal Swap Meet.
So give me your first inkling with discovering the San Diego Metal Swap Meet and your reasons for coming in the first place.
So the first time, my best friend Rhett and his wife Lily's dad used to own Wild Rags Records, so she ended up with a lot of the product after the store closed, and she pretty much bought a venue. I think it was the 3rd time they were here, but was my first. So she would sell all the Wild Rag stuff, and this is when it was at an Eagles auditorium or something rather, and it was really cool back then. So I came again a couple more times, and now here I am again for the 4th time.
Now, what was primarily there at first compared to what's here today?
A lot less booths. This place has grown immensely. So, yeah, there was a lot less booths. The place was always packed.
Was there as many vinyls?
There was vinyl.
There was vinyl?
Vinyl, CDs, DVDs, VHS, movies.
I don't recall if
posters.
If bands played.
They would have one at the end of the night.
Correct. Okay. Gotcha. So you're
the
in
first
that
time.
era.
The first time I went, there was a Slayer tribute band. I don't remember what they were called.
Probably like Slatanic or something like that.
Something like that. Some LA local LA Slayer tribute. They were badass though.
What is in that? Was it in the downtown part of like San Diego where that record store was?
Yeah, it was like a community center.
That's not. What was the place that we were at? That it was like a record store, right? Or what was that? It might be a community center where those artwork and everything else and Exhumed played.
Oh, right. That was in that tiny fucking
too
it
small.
felt like, yeah, a little claustrophobic.
That's not what Shannon's talking about.
No.
Okay.
There's probably a place before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did this place have a stage on it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it might be the same place.
It's funny to hear the progression, how this has had like not a lot of stuff to getting bigger and bigger and more vendors and now bands playing and food and all kinds of stuff now. So,
well, I'm generally curious with the. I'm hoping it's not going to rain for one, and generally curious. So with Avenger, can we touch upon the Avenger stuff? What's going on with Avenger of Blood?
Sure.
So, where are you guys at in terms of this specific new record that I keep hearing about? Obviously, you're done re-recording the first album.
Yeah.
But where are you guys at in terms of writing this next? I guess the 4th. It would be technically the 4th Avenger of Blood album.
Starting to get songs down for it, but we're not rushing that because we're working on the 4 songs that we're recording next month. The split with Madras, those 2 songs, and the split with Vindicator, that 1 song, and then the other song that's a standalone single. Other than that, no, not just kind of, we want to get that done before we move on. But Chris, our guitarist, out on our way here, he has demos of songs that he made, and we were listening to them on the way here, and they're badass.
Now, you're not passing those out here. Those are just for you.
Yeah, just for us to hear.
So are you excited with this specific lineup in question, though? Okay.
Yeah. This is the best lineup I've ever had, by far.
And is it kind of weird for you, just in terms of your career at this point now that you're not, I don't think you guys are doing a lot of shows per se. You're focusing more on just getting tight with the band, regrouping as it were. So this is what, the second or third time it's happened for you, but it happened in a time when you don't really have to tour a lot,
right?
Or because of everything that's kind of transpired. So is it a little weird for you, or are you more comfortable with that?
I'm more comfortable. Yeah. I want to play. I'd like to play, but just seems like the promoters in Vegas just don't have their shit straight. I don't know. Vegas is really, I don't know, very cliquey, I guess. And I haven't been in that scene for, God, 6 years, 7 years. I kind of stepped away. And when I stepped away, I mean, I ended up in that car accident and just everything else happened. So Well,
stylistically wise, I'm sure they do have a scene out in Vegas. I'm not sure. But
oh, there's a scene. Yeah, small. There's a scene. I don't hate them. It just seems like the promoters have other bands like they want to push more so or something. I don't know. We just seem to get skipped right now.
Well,
That'll come to a head.
I'm
soon.
talking in terms of stylistically wise. I'm just curious what kind of bands are in San Diego, Las Vegas, compared to, say, San Diego or L.A. County and whatnot. It seems to be primarily out here. There's like a heavy metal and doom thing happening. So, stylistically wise, what's happening in Vegas?
Death metal, brutal death metal.
Okay, and again that. Las Vegas Death Fest is now no more, but there's still a huge death metal scene.
Well, there's a Slaughterfest, and then there's another one that Roger from Mortician.
Oh,
he lives in Vegas now, and he's putting on or just put on one festival, and he's going to do another one. Yeah, and he owns a store off of Sahara Boulevard in Valley View. Yeah. Primitive Recordings or something like that. Primitive something, yeah. But anyway, he's cool as hell. But then it kind of leaves us out because we're a thrash band. They're all brutal death metal, and so we get kind of skipped out on that. There's a couple black metal bands, but I don't know.
So are you primarily focusing your attention East Coast wise when it comes to attracting new fans or Europeans, or I'm just curious where there's a huge kind of thrash boom at this point, or who?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Are you glad that you could take your time with the recordings, or do you want to rush it? Do you prefer to?
I'd like to put more stuff out faster.
Yeah.
But
what's holding that back? Just getting together with everyone, or,
learning the songs, putting the songs together, that takes a little time. Get everybody on the same page.
Are you guys
slip a little bit here and there?
Are you proximity-wise? Not everybody's in Nevada?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. We're all.
So you're that close together.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're sending. Well, maybe you still do. You email each other the songs and do your recordings and then submit them. Do you guys still do that, or is it just no? We're going to get together and we're going to play.
Kinda. They work on their demos on the side. So like Chris will come with a guitar and bass and drums all recorded.
Okay.
And a structure and a whole song done, and then give it to us, and then we'll be like, okay, this is not set in stone, but this is the guide.
Okay.
So Chris will do that. Sal will write riffs and then give it to Chris. Mark will write riffs and give it to Chris. And Chris seems to be the guy to structure everything
So he
right now.
sounds like Chris primarily writes everything, and then
At this point right
Okay.
now, yeah.
okay,
Sal has wrote like 2 riffs, and Chris finished off the song and then arranged it and put it together. And the same with Mark.
okay,
He had like everything except the midsection. He didn't know where to go with the midsection, so I said, "Yeah, give it to Chris. Let Chris take it," and he fixed it all up.
Okay.
And now it's badass.
good.
So there's a good working relationship.
I was going to ask you that, like, how does that work out?
Yeah,
Okay.
it works out great.
Now, with the new guys in question, obviously they're familiar with your past catalog, but I'd be curious to ask them if we can ever get them on here. Is maintaining the Avenger of Blood sound? You want to grab one of them over
right
here?
now.
All
I
right.
can get them on right now.
All right. I'll save this question for them. So.
All right.
I'd be curious though to ask. Yeah, get one of them on here. Yeah.
No, get both of them on.
You want both of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
one of you guys needs to bring your punk ass over here, and I'll get out of the
Come right
way.
here. Come right here. This
you
is what
sure?
happens. This is what happens on the spot here on the show. So. What's going on, gentlemen? I need to turn you on. That's not sexual at all. But so, gentlemen, thanks again for stopping by. I appreciate it. Tanner, pleasure to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you, Sal.
Sal, nice to meet you.
Chris.
Nice to meet you. Sal, specifically with you, vocally speaking, I think you're probably the best for this band.
Really?
Not to kiss your ass because you're sitting next to me. I told Shannon this off the air. He can vouch for it. But I'm curious, for you specifically, knowing the past history of Avenger of Blood, how do you keep it relatively to their specific kind of original sound, but also maintaining your identity in this?
Well, Shannon gives me a lot of direction all the time, so he kind of gives me like a focal point, and then we go from there. And I kind of just put my own pizzazz on it.
But even with your vocal cadences, I'm specifically asking about, like your vocal cadences.
Mhm.
You still maintain the sound of Avenger, but you also sound like you. So I'm just curious where that comes from. If you generally have thought about that, or
Not too much. I mean, I used to sing for another band beforehand, so, and that really wasn't the way I sang for that band wasn't really anything like Avenger of Blood, but I kind of incorporated those two with Shannon's help, and then, like I said, he gives me a little bit of direction, and then I just push it out.
And Chris, specifically with you, how do you fit in with your riffs and whatnot, and writing the songs with Shannon, and just, again, encompassing the Avenger of Blood sound today? Well, if we can get his dummy button to work, you gotta. There you go.
Usually helps when it's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So, a lot of times I've just been going back and listening to a lot of Avenger and a lot of the stuff that it was influenced by, and then also kind of taking the time to see what's out there right now and see what like the current trends are and stuff like that, and maybe just kind of incorporating a little bit of it, but also trying to keep it original, try to be different, so that way, when we release the stuff, it's something at least a little bit fresh, so that way, we can make, kind of an impact and, just bring something new to the table.
Now, are you guys wanting to do more of a cohesive record this time in terms of a storyline, or is there a concept record coming out with? Because or is it just we're just going to write a bunch of songs that fit the Avenger of Blood kind of sound? Is there any experimentation coming up?
Yes, there's a lot of experimentation coming up. Being a concept album was one of the things that we were talking about. As far as like the actual new album coming, a lot of it is still in the works. We're still kind of fleshing out what exactly we do want to do with it, just because, we recently just got done, revisiting a lot of the older material, especially the first album and stuff like that. So we're trying to take it not only in the same direction that Avenger has always been trying to go, but also to add something new, something fresh, so that way, old fans will still love it, and maybe even, garner a few new ones along the way.
Now, what is your guys' dynamic as a band in 2022, per se? Because it's like you guys come in, all new members, and it's do you all have a general sense of knowing what this band is, or are you still trying to figure that out?
No, we know what it is.
Absolutely.
Everybody has their specific duty, and everybody is gung-ho about it. 101%.
Oh yeah.
You know? No one's lagging behind. We all have our strengths. Sure, everybody has their weakness. The weakness doesn't do shit when the strength is that strong. We're all super close.
So specifically with each of you, give me one of your goals that you would like to see, where you would like to see this band go compared to where they've already been. Like, where would you like to see this band actually go? Now that you are fronting it, you're helping writing the songs with Shannon, and of course, you being the original, where would you, all three of you guys, like to see this band go, individually speaking?
In a word, Europe.
Yeah, definitely.
But beyond that, it's mostly just something that we're trying to, still the same but advance, so accomplish all the things that we've already done in the past, but then still move forward and kind of grow from there as well.
Yeah, I'd like to push it as far as we can, just like you said, Europe, and I just want to just keep writing songs and just see how far we can go,
But would you guys also like to see this band be taken more legitimately compared to, because I know you guys got the shit end of the stick years ago, so is there a sense of that in terms of a goal of being treated like, legitimately?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Taken seriously more now that you guys are a stronger unit and writing even, no offense, even better stuff now than you were back then. So is that the main reason why you wanted to keep it going?
Yes and no. When we got it going again, it took me a long time to really realize if I wanted to even do it or not. But once everybody was on board and showed they were 101%, then there was no turning back. So to answer your question from earlier, where do I want to see it go? As far as I can take it. Whatever that is, however I can get there, as long as it doesn't involve touring, I'll play festivals, I'll do whatever, weekend gigs, whatever, when the time is right. But right now, that time isn't right. But I want to take that new album, because to me, that right where we're at right now, to me, is the new beginning. We were all working together to accomplish something that had to be done with the re-recording of Complete Annihilation. But this new stuff, to me, this is the new. Right now is the new start. Like it's the fresh. It's the rebirth. The phoenix is rising from the ashes now.
Well, I think in regards to re-recording, Complete Annihilation, I think what I get from it is it probably taught you guys how each other work as people and and knowing each other, where each other fit with this band, I would say. So now that you guys are writing new material, have you found even more, you've learned more about each other, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, just with writing new stuff, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's especially exciting for me because I've been a fan of the band since I was 16 years old. So I've been there to watch them from the start and growing and seeing what they've done and where they've gone. So now for me to be a part of it is really exciting because now I get to contribute, to that whole legacy. And, it's actually really easy and really fun, and it's just an absolute blast to write music and play, with the band and everything like that. Even, writing new songs with Mark and Sal and Shannon, and it's just, I can't wait to see where it goes.
Now, I don't know your guys' specific history, so excuse my ignorance on this, but I'm generally curious, when coming into Avenger, did you have to change your writing style for this project, or were you always just used to jamming with a band, per se? Because a lot of people, and Shannon and I have had multiple conversations, bands sometimes like to write computer-wise, send tracks over. I'm generally curious. Did you have to change that up for this project?
Not really. I'm kind of very adaptable. I've been in a lot of like cover bands and stuff, so I've always been playing, but this is the first time in a long time that I've actually got to play, metal and music that I really, really like, and original music at that. So I've been in a few metal bands before, but most of it's been like power metal or death metal, so I've never actually really gotten to do thrash, and I fucking love it. So it's been a blast so far.
So Sal, same question for you, man. Stylistically wise, did you have to change up your writing style to fit Avenger of Blood?
Not too much, because like I said, when I was in my previous band, Avenger of Blood at the time, before I was in them, they kind of took us, the band I was in, under their wing, and we did a lot of stuff together. And we had the same kind of writing style. I mean, the band I was in was a little different, but I've always written the same kind of stuff, and it fits right in with Avenger of Blood.
And again, your cadences wise, I mean, Shannon, you couldn't have picked a better singer. I mean,
Absolutely.
again, you couldn't have picked a better singer.
Right.
So
I'm
I
flattered.
agree.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to kiss your ass because you're next to me. I've literally told him off the air. So, but I wish this lineup existed like 10 years ago when.
So do we.
Yeah.
Because.
Right.
But I also feel that this is like kind of a second coming for the
Yeah.
band. So that you're
Absolutely.
gonna.
Definitely.
I think
a
this
true
is
second coming.
correct, and I think this is going to legitimize, your efforts in this specific band, compared to 10 years ago too. So I don't know, man. I think it's an exciting time. I want to thank you guys again for coming on and giving me a few minutes of your time here.
Absolutely.
And,
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely have to come back on, and when the new record's out, I'm sure I'll bug
yeah.
Shannon again and again and again for it. But anything else you guys want to tell the audience? Where can people kind of get Avenger of Blood stuff? You support the band.
We've been working on a lot of that stuff right now. I don't think we have a set release date for the album right now, but it is done. It's getting the final touches so that it will be out hopefully soon, like early next year. We're working on a lot of the merch and stuff like that because, the pandemic really screwed everything up, so it's been kind of rough to get it back started going and everything like that. So now that everything's been kind of smoothed out, we finally got, completely Reannihilated, recorded, and finished. So that's already in the works, and we're working on everything else. We got a few shows planned out and booked, but, it's just, we're just trying to make the most of it as we go.
I love it. So obviously, AvengerBlood.bandcamp is the correct
Bandcamp.
link.
Yes.
Yep, Bandcamp and Facebook.
I love it. Well, gentlemen, thanks again for coming here, and enjoy the rest of the San Diego Metal Swap Meet, man. It's going to be fun
Absolutely.
today.
Thanks for having us on.
Sure, man.
All right. Thank
Well,
you very much.
for another episode of Poppitt's Corner, guys, we're out of here. Cheers.